Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for this fine Monday morning, starting week 6 of the 2021 season. I'm your host, Gary Smith. On today's show, as always, we're going to talk to Coach Dunn about this past weekend's action at Gannon. We're going to look around at scores and standings in the PSAC, take a look ahead at this upcoming week's home opponent, Clarion. But Coach, once again, it's a Monday morning, smiles on your face. Weather's great today. Let's chalk off another great weekend of Vulcan football.
Yeah, great to go on the road and get a win. I thought we played well. I thought we made some improvements on things that we've been working on, and I thought the guys responded. I thought it was really a total team victory. I thought we played well in all three phases. Obviously, defense, played well, ended up scoring again to get us on the board. Special teams played well in some big spots, and then the offense played well. So, was pleased with the effort, but there's still some things we got to work on and clean up. But pleased with the effort on Saturday and moving on to the next.
Yeah, and Gannon's always a place that, it's an interesting facility. It's a small stadium. If you looked at we talked last week about, their offense, probably the best offense we faced all year. Defense, that's pretty much their bugaboo. But offensively, they did some stuff. And I thought your team responded well. There was a stat, and, no team had scored in the first half against the Vulcans. Gannon goes down, gets a field goal on that first drive. But as we've said before on the show, your staff does a great job of adjustment. And then, that basically changed the tenor of the game, because Gannon's quarterback came in 135 straight passes without an interception. And again, as soon as I say that stat, get that pick six, and you guys were off and running.
Yeah, they did a nice job with their opening 10. They threw some things at us that maybe they hadn't done before or schemed up against us. They had a big play going out empty. We just didn't play it real well, but they went back to that, and you're right, we adjusted. But, I thought our defense and our defensive coordinator really explained it well. He said that things that they put on film, we defended really well. Things that we had to make adjustments to is where they kind of got some yardage on us. But give Gannon credit. Gannon's a good football team. Gannon's played a heck of a schedule. They've played, I think, 3 ranked teams now. They've played a very tough schedule. Gannon is a good football team. They've got a good offense. They got a good scheme. They're well coached. We knew we were going to have a test up there, and I was happy with the way our guys responded on the road.
Yeah, definitely. Gannon came into the game. Their quarterback had some D1 experience with Ohio State. Then he was at FCS Bryant. So a guy that has seen different things, been in different wars, and like I said, after Jamel Martin's interception for the pick six, it seemed like you guys had a hand in his face pretty much every time, and definitely was a different quarterback after that first series.
Well, that was
the rest of the game.
That was the plan. The plan going in was to pressure them, and really that's who we are. We want to try and pressure quarterbacks and get them to make bad decisions. And we had 2 picks, I think, early in the first half there. Jamal Martin ends up scoring on, I think, the second series of the game to give us the 7-3 lead. Then Micah Tillman had a big pick on the other side that gave us great field possession, and I believe we turned that into a touchdown as well. So, hats off to the defense for creating pressure and creating mistakes, and that's kind of the world we want to live in.
Well, that Micah Tillman interception, you could see as soon as the play was happening, the quarterback was under pressure, and you're just thinking if he throws it, he's going to make a bad mistake, and he threw it, and interception sent you guys up in midfield, and I think that guy scored, make it 14-3, and that really changed the complexion of the game.
Yeah, give credit to our linebackers and our front guys for being able to get pressure. That's always the tough thing. If you're going to bring pressure, then it's got to work, or that quarterback's going to have windows on the back end. And I thought our guys did a nice job up front of, maybe not getting a ton of sacks, but getting some knockdowns, getting some pressure, making them throw it early, making them read it quick. And some of their route concepts are designed to go down the field. And if you don't have time to go down the field, those are the things that happen. So hats off to our guys.
Well, if you look on the defensive side, a number of players had 6 tackles. We talk a lot. Noah Dill having an outstanding season. He, still had 5 tackles, 4 solos, 2 for losses, and 1 sack. But your other linebackers, Miller, Toby, and Maddox, were just flying to the ball.
Yeah, I really think Marvin Maddox is stepping up. I felt him the last couple games. Toby is a guy that can run, and we put a lot of pressure on him to defend some things. But they're just, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're running to the football, and they're battling for each other, which is always good to see.
And the defense only gave up 17 points in that game. And again, your team came in giving up less than 5 years. It's unbelievable effort for the season. And anytime you can hold a team in this day and age to between 14 and 20 points, you're doing something right.
Yeah, it's great team defense, great effort. There are some things we've got to be able to adjust to, and some, we missed a tackle on the 1 touchdown, which is obviously going to happen. But those are things we're going to try and clean up this week.
Now on the other side of the ball. we got an alert from the Erie County Airport that there was an air raid warning because your offense was, just moving the ball down the field with a variety of passes. Noah Mitchell, 35 for 53, 382, 4 touchdowns, and we'll get to who he threw to because I think me and you were the only 2 people in red and black that didn't get your ball on Saturday.
Yeah, no, we had a nice day throwing the football, and that was kind of the plan going in. We thought, some of the things they do coverage-wise we could take advantage of. I thought our game plan between Coach Salisbury, Coach Durish, and Coach Wilson was really good of understanding where they were going to be and taking advantage of some of the things they did. And then, the thing is we took care of the football. We didn't turn it over. We still got to get better in the running game. I thought we did at times. The stats don't tell you that because we did give up some sacks. Not crazy about dropping back 53 times, but that's what was needed, and that's what we thought we could take advantage of going in, and we did. And Noah's doing a good job of reading defenses. And it's funny on certain plays. We're going to put a guy in conflict. We're going to put their outside linebacker. He's either got to do this or that, and the ball's going to go opposite of what he does. And they were trading it up, and Noah was making the right read. And our receivers were doing a good job of getting open on time and finding windows. And you could kind of feel as the game was going on, we were in command of our passing game. I think the last drive of the game, we chewed up 8 minutes in 4 wide receiver set, mixing a little bit of running, but also just throwing quick passes and taking advantage of what they were doing.
And if you had Cam Tarrant in your PSAC Fantasy Football League this week, 11 catches, 124 yards. Tyson Hill also over 100 yards. But Jaquay Jackson, 2 touchdowns. Jackson Daugherty once again with the touchdown in the red zone. But again, just a lot of completions the outside, and a lot of the running backs even though he said working on the running game, but running backs in the passing game this week, a lot of underneath stuff. And
yeah, Noah did a good job a few times, or especially early, of checking the ball down to our backs and getting positive yards. Those 4 or 5 yards lead to bigger plays later in the game, because if you'll check it down a couple times, and them backers are going to hang in there understanding you're going to check it down, and that opens up the windows down the field. Jack Colecci had a couple big catches. He came into the game and had a couple nice catches. I think he's a guy you're going to continue to see develop and on the rise. Tayshawn Mack got some reps. So we played a lot of receivers and obviously did a nice job.
That was a great job, and also offensive line, giving some time for Noah to find the open receivers. And we'll talk about the running game. Like you said, the numbers don't tell the whole story, but there were a lot of tough runs in there that keep drives alive. So that's one of the things fans are like, you're not seeing the 200-yard rushing, 100-yard rushing, but effective gains, are just as effective as 200-yard games because they're keeping the chains moving. You're getting those tough yards.
Yeah, and part of it is what defenses do. They had 2 really good defensive tackles in there that are wide body guys that are hard to move out of there. And I thought that number 93, I thought he was a really good player going in. It's hard to run the football at any level. We've got to continue to get better. We can't throw the ball 53 times a game. That's just not who we want to be. So we'll continue to work, and we've got some things that we're working on right now that I think will help us down the line.
And once again, the final phase of the game, special teams. Not as many field goal attempts this week, but the ones that were happening was made. So like I said, especially in a wind, we talked about it last week that no matter what time of year, that wind is going to be going left to right, and you could definitely tell things going right to left were not as effective as going left to right, but kick a field goal and
yeah, we had a couple drives going into the wind that typically I would have kicked a field goal, but Coach Wilson, our special teams coordinator, came up before the game and kind of gave me a yard line that he thought we were good at going that way. And both times it was really right on that edge, and we went for it. I think we converted one we didn't. Then late in the game there was another opportunity, and I said, we don't need to, another 3. We're just going to go ahead and get out of here. But Anthony is continuing to work and develop, and he's doing a nice job. I thought he did a great job punting the ball. We had one punt out of the end zone that he really got a hold of. I think our cover units are doing good. We had too many penalties on special teams. It seemed like on both sides, Gannon and us, every special team was a flag. I felt like it was NFL football. I was watching games last night, and it seems every special team there's a holder block in the back. We've got to get that corrected because there was a couple drives where we would have had a lot better field position hadn't we held, and they were holds. So we've got to get our hands inside. We've got to move our feet, and we got to clean that up this week.
Well, it's funny. As soon as I got there and I saw the wind was going left and right, I'm like, son of a gun, he was right. So we got this green screen over here. I think next week we're going to have you do the weather. Coach Dunn said it was just like the old Joe DiNardo ones.
Yeah, it's that wind up there's something. And when you're standing on the field, the whole pregame, I was trying to figure it out because it was really a crosswind. Mm-hmm. But it's always goes. From our stance or from our sideline, left to right, and sometimes it can be a factor, and we played through it.
and played through it. You did to the tune of a 38-17 win on the shores of Lake Erie. Let's take a look at these highlights from this past weekend's action.
Play fake. Slab, and that's going to be a pick. And there it is. We said something had to give, and now California has a chance to take it. Pick 6 for the second straight week. Touchdown for the Vulcans. Play action. Slant wide open. Touchdown Vulcans. Chiquay Jackson. 6 on the board for the Vulcans. Pass. Rolls to his right. Fires downfield, and it's going to be picked. And that's another interception for the Vulcans. That is Micah Tillman. And here we are, 2nd and goal. Noah goes to his right, throws the back of the end zone. Touchdown Vulcans, wide open. Jackson Daugherty for the Vulcan touchdown. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Anthony Bico, Mr. Reliable, will put 3 more on the field for the Vulcans. Make it 24-3. Mitchell looking left, fires in the flat, pass is complete, breaks the tackle. Tarrant at the 10, 5, touchdown. California. Cam Tarrant breaks out of everything, and that is going to be another touchdown for the Vulcans.
Hey Johnny, why do you look so sad?
Well, no, I'm not sure how my friends and family back in Gibbon Glade, Pennsylvania can keep track of all our CUTV programming when they can't watch.
Well, Johnny, they could subscribe to our new CUTV and Friends podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, thanks, Noel.
The Caillou Cupboard connects students to information, services, and resources both on and off campus while providing free items such as food, school supplies, personal hygiene items, and more to our students. Visit our 2 locations at the Vulcan Village Clubhouse and Atali Student Center, or for a contactless option, visit bit.ly.com/Caillou Cupboard to request food or give donations. For important Caillou information, community resources, and our how-to series, follow at Caillou Cupboard on Instagram and the campus-wide announcements.
Okay, Daddy, Dr. Elmo says you're healthy.
Oh, well, thank you. Our children and families want us to be healthy. That's why I and lots of other grown-ups got the COVID-19 vaccine, so we can stay healthy and get back to the moments we miss, like seeing our friends and family.
Here you go, Daddy, for a healthy checkup, a sticker.
Oh, thanks, son.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
Vulcan Volleyball is back, and you can catch all the action with CUTV and the PSAC network. After a year away from the court, the Vulcans are set to try and get back to the top of the PSAC. A full slate of action versus such PSAC opponents: Gannon, Mercyhurst, Edinburgh, Clarion, Seton Hill, Slippery Rock, IUP, and Pitt Johnstown. Every home game will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Play fake. Slab, and that's going to be a pick. And there it is. We said something had to give, and now California has a chance to take it. Pick 6 for the second straight week. Touchdown for the Vulcans.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show. You just saw the highlights, and then the play of the week was the Jamal Martin pick 6 interception. We talked about it, Coach. That was a real game changer for you and your squad because, Gannon went down, scored, and then I think we were held with 3 and out. So a little momentum on Gannon's sideline, but 2 plays into that drive, you guys are celebrating and off to the races.
Yeah, it's a great individual effort. But the thing I love when we turn the ball over is just see our guys looking to throw blocks and hustle and some of the effort they're giving. And Jamal obviously did a nice job, made a nice read, was a heck of a catch. That was a bullet that he caught. And, kind of usually you don't see guys score down the middle like that, but he did a nice job and his teammates did a nice job, kind of paving the way for him.
And it was just a fantastic weekend. We've talked about that ad nauseum. So While we have a second, let's take a look at what happened in the PSAC this past weekend. Week 3 of conference play in the PSAC, and you can see on the scoreboards, Cal 38-17 over the Gannon Golden Knights, and then Seton Hill a few miles away at Mercers gets the win 19-17. Staying in the PSAC West is, I'm going to turn my page right here. You can see it on the screen. Slippery Rock at Edinburgh 49-13. Moving over to the PSAC East, Shepherd 75-21 over Lockhaven. Shippensburg getting a home win over Westchester 34-18. Kutztown going on the road to Bloomsburg 34-7. The one last PSAC West score I missed was IEP 58, Clarion 21. And the final score of the week, Millersville losing to East Stroudsburg 27-7. But Coach, we're getting to that time of year, 3-0, 5, Cal U 6-0, 3-0, but this is pretty much the official. We're in the second half of the season now.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were talking about that yesterday. It seems like we just got here, but you're going to continue to see obviously good football throughout the league. Great coaches, great student athletes. A lot of big scores this week. A lot of points put up on the board around the league, but just good league action. You probably got some good games coming up this week.
Yeah, we're going to take a look quickly at the score, the PSAC standings. I know Coach's favorite part of the year, seeing numbers, but Cal U, Slippery Rock, IEP, 1, 2, 3 in the PSAC West, kind of how it was predicted by the coaches. And then if you look over in the PSAC East, it's going to be, again, another logjam on that side between Westchester, Shippensburg, Shepherd, and, like I said, second half of the season. And Coach, now that we're on the second half of the season, how much of it from a coaching staff do you look back and kind of reflect and learn from what happened, or is it just all just looking ahead 1 week at a time?
No, you're constantly trying to figure out where you can get better, and the only way you can figure that out is looking to pass. So we're studying a lot of things on both sides of the ball where we can get better from what we've done already. What adjustments can we make off of what we've put on film already? But obviously, now is the time of year we got to start lightening it up. We're starting to get, like everybody else in the country, it's bumps and bruises here. So we're trying to, cut our practice schedule where we can, give our guys some off time where we can to make sure that we're healthy for the stretch run.
And it is going to be an exciting stretch run. As I said, we're in the middle of October. But, Coach, the page turns to this upcoming week's opponent, the Clarion Golden Eagles. Obviously, looking at the scores and standings, they're having a tough season this year. But, the old adage, any given Saturday. So I know they do things well on both sides of the ball. Let's start on the offense, because I know you've seen some film so far. What do they do that would concern an opposing defense?
They're very similar to us offensively. They'll run some RPO stuff, and I think they're really good at it. Their tailback is probably one of the top tailbacks in the league. So anytime you can put it in his, give it to him and then read a guy off it is dangerous. And I think like I said, he's probably one of the best tailbacks in the league. Clarion always plays us hard. I mean, it's always a game. We went back and looked at the 2019 film, and it was a homecoming game here, back and forth, and we end up pulling away at the end. It always seems like that. Clarion's got some really good athletes and some good players. They just haven't put it together yet, and you can see them, even though the scores, they're getting better. Let's hope they don't put it together this week, right? But you can see they do some good things, and their RPO and their run game is probably the number one thing. The quarterback's accurate, and when you can run the football, that opens up other things.
And you beat me too, talking about that 2019 game. I mean, it was 2 years ago, but that's the most recent contest. That game was close into the third quarter until Vulcans made a couple plays on defense and then a couple big plays on offense. But that game was not decided till probably the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and 2 years before that, it was the same way up there.
It's the same way every time we play Clarion. It's always a back and forth game of physical football. They do a great job coaching, and so we're going to have to play at our best this week to have success.
Now on the other side of the ball, defensively, we see they're allowing some points, but again, there's playmakers everywhere. What type of formation and what you look for?
They're very similar to Gannon, but probably more multiple. They'll work out of a four down lineman set, 2 linebackers, 2 deep safeties, or middle of the field open as we call it. But they will roll and play some one high stuff. They will play man coverage. They do have a nice blitz package. They're probably going to bring more pressure than anybody we've seen. It's kind of looking at what defenses are doing to us. Are they trying to pressure Noah in our pass game, or are they not? Clarion's probably going to bring more pressure and not afraid to go cover 0 more than anybody we've played this far. So they've got some, I think number 90, their one defensive end's a really good player. Their linebackers run around, and they got some good cover guys. They're just, like I said, they just haven't put it all together yet.
Like you said, you took the words out of my mouth again. I'm just going to give you a microphone and let you do the show by
It's
yourself.
a one-man show.
But they played IEP this weekend, and that game was close into the third quarter. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, is IEP down?" Like, no, Clarion's playing better. They're getting it together.
Yeah, and it was a good game. I just got done watching that last night and this morning. They're battling, and that's the thing. Is when teams aren't having success, they can kind of go either way. Clarion's still battling their butts off right now.
And let's take a look before we tell everybody how they can watch the battle this weekend. Let's take a look at what else is happening in the PSAC this week. This is week 4 of conference play. We'll start in the West as always. Mercier's over at Edinboro at noon. IEP at Slippery Rock at 1 o'clock. Gannon at Seton Hill at 4, and then of course we will be playing the Clarion Golden Eagles at 4 o'clock. Looking at all the matchups in the PSAC East Stroudsburg over at Westchester at noon, and then you have Lock Haven traveling to Bloomsburg at 2 o'clock. Shepherd going to Millersville at 2, and then Shippensburg at Kutztown at 5 o'clock. And Coach, obviously, we always talk about a game or two, but I see 2 games that if you're a D2 fan and paying attention, IEP Slippery Rock and Shippensburg Kutztown are going to both tell the results of those games are going to really determine things happening down the rest of the season.
Yeah, a lot of good games on there. That Mercyhurst, who they've got.
They're at Edinboro.
At Edinboro, that'll be a good game. Gannon's playing.
Gannon is over at Seton Hill, so
that's going to be another good game. A lot of good games on the slate this week. PSAC doing it right on week 7.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just a tough conference every week. There's going to be great matchups, and the matchup we want everybody to pay attention to is Cal U versus Clarion this week. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff from Addison Stadium, so just either set your alarm back a little later or just get to the stadium and tailgate a little longer. So either way is a win.
Either way is a win, right? Let's get under the lights for the first time this year. We'll probably play under the lights in the second half, but excited to be back at Addison Stadium. I know we'll have a great crowd.
And as a player or coach, I mean, traditionally everything's at noon or in the afternoon, but a little bit more oomph whenever the lights turn on, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's I'd rather play at noon. I'd rather play at 10 o'clock in the morning. The hard thing is waiting all day, right? The kids are excited and the emotions are flowing, and I'd rather play at 10 o'clock in the morning if we could. But no, it's a nice change. It'll be a nice change up for us. I know our guys will respond.
Okay, and like I said, we need the crowd to respond. Like I said, 4 o'clock at Addison Stadium. If you can't make it, if you have an excuse that the coach has signed off that you can't be at Addison Stadium, CUTV and WCO will have you covered. Game will be live on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube. It will also be live on the PSAC network and also be on the air 91.9 FM WCAO. But again, the best way to enjoy Vulcan football is
live and in person.
Live and in person. I tell you what, Saturday at Gannon, the visiting bleachers are very, very small, so it's a very intimate setting on the sideline, but a very loud and vocal group of Vulcan fans made the trip. And when I came out of the press box and looked down, I'm like, this feels like Adamson Stadium North.
Great parent support. Our parents do a great job of traveling. We had a couple alumni there. Some boosters were there. It was a nice day in Erie. And
we were talking to a few just residents of Erie that were at the game. They saw us setting up. They were like, we want to see what Cal's all about. I'm like, you're going to get a treat today. And you and your staff and your team didn't disappoint. So a lot of happiness at Gannon. But like I said, come out to Adamson Stadium. It's going to be, I believe, the early weather. I should ask you for the weather.
I didn't even
look
yet.
Okay.
I don't trust 5 days, 6, 7 days out. What do we got? What's the weather like?
I think it's going to be nice all week this week. We're going to
beautiful.
So whenever it rains on Saturday, don't blame me. But coming out to Adamson Stadium 4 o'clock and root on the Vulcans in another PSAC Wets matchup. So for Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. You've been watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.